There he is.
There we go. How you doing? Yep,
Hey, pretty good. How are you doing?
not too bad.
Well, good. I hope everything's going well.
Yeah, it is a long day of work trying to push a deadline on a commercial project. I'm a commercial electrician, so
Yeah.
they just come at 2 and say we're staying till 4 or 5.
Yes, sir. Well,
So,
hey, I was going to ask, like to start out, just a couple questions. One, what's your connection to Kansas City?
my connection, I was born and raised here, except for the 12 years that I lived in Texas.
Okay. And how long have you lived back in the Kansas City area?
I left 98 and came back 2011.
Okay. And what's your connection to like the filming and acting and all that in Kansas City?
My connection to that, like I don't know how to answer that one.
Yeah, like you have you done like have you written any projects or acted in things in Kansas City?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I've written uh about to go into pre-production on my second project that I've written called Through My Eyes. Hopefully that'll be out in early 2026, mid
Sure.
2026. I've done several projects around here. 3 or 4 T-Mobile commercials, one Snickers, a couple what do they call them, local commercials, maybe maybe 4 or 5 feature films and a couple shorts.
Yeah, and I've seen you on commercials. You said you're an electrician. I think I saw you with like an heating or air conditioning in a
Yeah, that was
commercial.
Anthony.
Um, and I saw like a variety of titles by your name with like author, writer, actor. What do
Mhm.
you and director? What do you consider yourself primarily?
Um, Primarily, I would say I'm an actor.
Okay.
I would go with that first.
You're an actor, and I know you've had some training. Can you tell us a little bit more about your training?
Oh yes, I got a wonderful teacher, Stu Large. He's a no nonsense. Well, during class, he's a no nonsense kind of teacher. He's done movies like Kick Ass, several Law and Orders, Gotham, Best Man. I mean, I'd be here 20 minutes naming all the titles that he's been in.
Wow.
But he's an awesome teacher.
Now, how did you come in contact with him?
That's crazy. A friend and someone reached out to me. I guess we had been Facebook friends for some time, and she reached out to me, send me a message. I didn't even know who she was at first, and she said, "I got somebody that you need to get in contact with." I hear that a lot, whatever.
Mhm.
And she gave me, or she passed my information on to him, Stu Larch, and he contacted me, and I was just blown away.
Very cool. So, how long have you been working with him?
Um, I'd say almost 2 years now.
2 years? Yeah. And like when you look at your projects you've been in, like what is your project and your role that you're the most proud of?
The role that I'm most proud of, I did a Frankenstein role for Super Happy Fun Clown that should be out here pretty soon. Um, that was, I get the villains, the bodyguards, the tough guys. I get those all.
Yes, sir.
To be able to step out and do that was a challenge, and I'm proud of myself for that.
Did they put all the makeup on you and all that stuff? Was it, or were you just like you are?
No, no, I did about 45 minutes or an hour of makeup. I found out that Acme or somebody has the rights to the flat top and the neck bolts.
Wow.
Yeah, so we couldn't do that. But yeah, the paint, the everything, the boots, the suit, it was pretty cool.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
Who put that on or who actually did that?
Patrick Ray directed it. Um, who starred in that?
Was it Andrea?
Yes, she had something to
Gouget?
do
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like I have not worked with Patrick Ray. I would love to. I know he's one of the top directors in town, so that's probably why I haven't worked with him. But
He,
you
he
have.
he was super cool.
That's awesome. So how did you get started, like acting in the first place?
Well, I was my mother would say that I was born a character, and I'd have to agree with her. But coming up in church, they have the Easter plays and stuff, and in high school, you take drama class. Also took a drama class in college, and I believe it was about 20, 21, 22, somewhere in there. I said, I want to know what will happen if I take this thing seriously and give it what I got.
Mhm.
And my first year, I mean, I took every role that I auditioned for and they gave me. I accepted it all. In one movie, I played four different people. Um,
Wow.
yeah, it was whatever they gave me, just trying to build my reel and get some experience. And of course, everything for free my first year. And then after that, things kind of really took off for me.
That's awesome. Awesome. And was that in Kansas City or was that in Texas somewhere?
No, it was Kansas City. I think the first film, Anthony Wright, Promise Chronicles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I think I did Crude Comics. I did Transfer Jones is his name. It was a spinoff kind of spoof of The Crow. Um, and yeah, after that, it was just, I mean, took off.
That's awesome. Awesome. So like how many projects do you do like on a regular basis?
Oh my goodness. The first this year has been a little different because I had to slow things down until my wife got back healthy and strong. Um, Normally, I would say one movie a month, two, three commercials a month.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Who's your agent?
Stacy with Moxie Town Agency.
Wow. Yeah. Sounds like she's doing a good job keeping you busy.
Yeah.
Um, so what would be your dream job? Like if you had all the money, you could do whatever you wanted, you could relax, you can do whatever you want. Would you do anything? And if yes, what would you do?
My dream job.
You win the lottery, so
Mhm.
it's all up to you.
It's all up to me. I would do two things. I would remake one of the movies from the past. I'm a huge horror fan. I love zombies, Night of the Living Dead. I have a 4-year-old. He's the same. We sit up Saturday watching zombie movies, and he's scared to go to sleep at night. But I would do a 2025 spin on Night of the Living Dead or something like that.
Wow.
I would totally, if I won the lottery and had all the money, I my I would totally try to find some way to get a small role in a big project like Fast and the Furious or something up there like that. You don't have to pay me, I'll do it. I just want to do
Oh yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And so, have you always liked horror then, I guess?
Oh yeah, since I was a little boy.
What's your favorite horror movie?
Night of the Living Dead, the first one,
Hmm.
with the color version because they have a black and white, and then they have a color version, Night of the Living Dead. Um, oh my goodness, anything like that. Zombie movies, Friday the 13th, Halloween. I watch every Halloween that's ever come out. Stuff like that.
The Night of the Living Dead, is that the one where the next day the military comes in and they shoot the guy who was innocent?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah,
I remember that was great. That was so ironic. They made it through and then he gets shot. They just shoot
yeah.
him. Like, oh my goodness. Um, but I guess like a year from now, so if you said your wife is healthy,
Mhm.
things are going back, where do you see like what's going to be your biggest accomplishment in the next year? If everything went perfect, what do you see yourself doing?
Within the next year, I would say um, through my eyes out on streaming platforms, which is the movie that I wrote and produced, starting on a second film writing and producing. Also, I would like to say um, network TV, the Law and Orders, the Chicago PD, Chicago 911s, those type of things.
Yeah, very cool. Is your job flexible enough? You can do a lot of that stuff?
Yes and no. uh, they are, but I tell them, I said, if I get this call, I got to go. And luckily, I do good enough work where they say, okay.
Yeah, they don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, did you play college football as well?
Yes, college football and college basketball in Texas. I something I'm not proud of. I blew a 4-year scholarship to Baylor. Ended up having to go to JUCO, went to Cisco Junior College, played football and basketball.
Where's Cisco Junior College? Where's that?
Right outside of Abilene, it's between Abilene and Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, okay, okay. I know about where that is.
Yeah.
Is that where you stayed when you stayed in Texas?
No, West Texas, Lubbock, the Texas Tech area, Lubbock, Plainview, Amarillo.
Wow, okay. So you're right up in Patrick Mahomes territory.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Was he playing there when you were living there?
No, some of the stars, Cliff Kingsbury was there. He was a quarterback there. Mike Leach was the football coach. Bob Knight was the basketball coach. Um, what's my guy's name? Oh my God, he played with Julian Edelman and the Patriots. Little guy. Can't remember his name.
That's
But
all right, but yeah.
yeah.
But so was Patrick there? You didn't overlap time with him at all. You left before he got there. Is that what
Oh
happened?
yeah, he was long. Yeah, I was long gone when he came through. I think Cliff Kingsbury was his coach, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. What
Yeah.
what position did you play?
Defensive end and tight end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did you play that like in one game, would you play both offense and defense at times?
I should have. They had politics. I was starting defensive end. Nobody's going to take that away. Should have been starting tight end, but so I'm 6'5", 280 something. I've been that size since I was 13. Quick, I ran a 4.440, quick hands, you
Wow.
name it. So the guy who started in front of me, 6'1", 195, soaking wet, but his dad was with the booster clubs and the co-ops and
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It happens. It happens. But also the other thing, like you're more likely to get hurt playing that Iron Man football. You're just a little more likely to get hurt.
Right.
And if you made a bigger impact on defense, they
Yeah.
must have kept you there. What did you play in basketball? What position did you play?
And growing up through high school, I played center and forward. Got to college and I played small forward and power forward.
So what was your like when you look back, basketball, football, do you like them both the same? Were you like better at one or the other?
Yes, I made I was the creator, whomever people believe in. He gave me football. I didn't have to. I could walk up and wake up and walk on any football field, and if I didn't start, I'd be close. Just
Mhm.
natural ability. Basketball, I had to work to be good at, and that's what I fell in love with, that work. So I'll say this: going into junior year, biggest mistake of my life. True story. Going in 6'5", 280, like I said, 4.4 speed as a D, that's a freak. Um, all these football college offers, Duke, Washington, um, I- Texas A&M, Kentucky, all these football college offers, but I wasn't interested in any of them. So I said, okay, I got something for y'all. I'm gonna lose weight. So I went from 280 to about 230. And the football college offers stopped, and I didn't get any basketball offers.
Wow.
So I made a big mistake. Looking back, it was a big mistake. Back then, that's just my heart was basketball. Always has been.
Yeah. Wow. So why did you lose all that weight? Was it to get better at basketball or what was the purpose?
Well, because um, I wasn't built like a basketball player. I was built like a tank. Like I said, since the age of 12 or 13, I mean, if you can see a 6'5", 287 pound 13-year-old, if you can imagine that, that's what I was.
Wow.
And I just felt like if I could slim down, then I would look like a basketball player. And it didn't work in my favor.
Well, I'll tell you one of the things like I've talked to other people about it. We were talking about because you're on so many commercials locally and you've had some other, some national type commercials. And we were talking about it. You're a big guy, but you like have a, don't take this as a nice way, like a soft, approachable look, even though you're this huge guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, I mean, I think other people have seen that in you, and that's why you get those roles partially because you're a big
Yeah.
guy who's nice.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
look like you'd be a nice guy.
Yeah, I am 99% of the time.
Nobody's 100. Nobody's
Right,
100.
right.
Um, so yeah, so like right now, like when you follow sports, what do you usually follow?
Football, it breaks my heart to say. Um, Huge basketball fan up until recent years. It's hard for me to watch the product that the NBA has now. I grew up Charles Barkley, Jordan, up into the Kobe years, just tough basketball. So it's tough for me to sit and watch that now. Definitely, I never miss a Chiefs game. It, Chiefs don't even have to be on. I watch any football game. So that's
But the Chiefs are the one you want to watch the most.
oh yes, I will
Yeah.
schedule my life around that.
Yeah. I watch every Chiefs game that happens and probably one or two other games a year.
Yeah.
I'm not a true fan like you, but I am definitely a fan of the Chiefs.
Oh
But
yeah.
in the off season, I spend very little energy on it up until we get to preseason.
Yeah.
And I like to see who makes the team, who gets
Yeah.
cut, because I don't know how many people they start out with, but there's like maybe 100, and then they get it down to 53,
Yeah.
like 20 something on the practice squad. But they start out with all these people that want to make it. And so, man, even in the preseason games, those guys play so hard
Yeah.
because it's the difference between make the practice squad and make, I don't know what they make, 100,000, 150,000. They make some money.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
make the pros, even at the bottom end, you're making 600,000 and and a team like Kansas City, you get all those extra perks, all
Yeah.
uh those little extra things with all the winning they've been doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, it's like it's tremendous. Or you get cut and you go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, did you ever try out for the NFL?
Oh no. Probably should have. Um, my and I would say about my junior year of college, I had my first child. Um, and I didn't have any direction. I didn't go to college with a purpose. So, you know, just kind of dropped out and started trying to raise, support my child, basically.
Yeah. Now, how old are your kids? You have a 4-year-old?
Yes, I have a 4-year-old. Oh my goodness, Maurice Jr. He's a he's a big bundle of energy, and I'm 42 now. So it's hard to keep up with a 4-year-old, a 16-year-old. I have an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old.
Wow, so you got some kids then. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any pets?
No, no,
No pets. What are those
no.
kids that you got to get pets for your kids?
Yeah, so when I was in Texas, I used to love dogs. We had, and I think because my daughter, I love animals. She probably had to get this from me. She has snakes and rabbits and porcupines but so I had at one point I had 8 or 10 dogs in the backyard.
Wow.
Yeah, and one we picked up a not a stray. We was given a dog, good looking dog too, and he must have had parvo or something, and all of my dogs got sick, every last one, and that
Wow.
that kind of hurt me, and I couldn't. That was the last time I owned any pets.
Yeah, I understand. What advice would you give to new actors who are just starting? They're thinking about becoming an actor. What advice would you give?
Training. Um, I think I would like to say that training keeps me in some pretty good pretty good rooms. It's training. You can get lucky and score a role, but training is going to take training to keep you performing consistently and
Now,
good headshots.
are you looking at primarily at paid roles, or are you still volunteering your time occasionally?
Absolutely not. um, yes, don't get. I take that back. If there's a role that I really enjoy, I will do it. Not many free roles, but I will. Like as an example, Anthony Wright put me in my first movie, and anytime he says, "Hey man, I need you," I'll go do it for him because he
He's a great
saw
guy.
something. Yeah, he saw something in me way back then.
Yeah,
So,
that's good. That's good. Hey, what do you do when you are not doing any work stuff? Like, how do you relax?
um, watch TV and work out.
Okay. And what do you mean when you say work out? What are you picturing?
Go to the gym 5 times a week. Um, heavy, well, high rep, low weight type of workouts. Um, things like that. I like to walk. Um, just try to stay active. Um, though, for looked up one day. We were just talking about high school. I was 18. Seemed like I looked up one day and I was 42. So just anything to try to stay active. I have an active 4-year-old. So, if I can get him walk a couple of laps around the block, just anything to stay active. And I love watching TV. My wife hates watching TV or movies with me, and I don't blame her because I'll be like, man, that guy did some really good acting, or I'll be like, oh, why?
Just watch the movie.
That's
So she forgets it's a movie. Like you remind her that those are actors, that you're not really watching this. That's probably
right,
what it is.
right.
That's funny. So do you go on vacations ever? Like, what was the most interesting place that you've ever been to?
Oh man, the last vacation, year before last, we went to Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and they have cabins out there, fishing.
Very cool.
It's like cabins in the woods, and I'm a city boy to my heart, Kansas City city boy. So for me, the cabin in the woods type of thing, that was pretty awesome. And then my son got to come. Um, I think he was 2 at the time, and he just totally had a blast.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's my
Wonderful
most
trip.
memorable.
That's kind of funny you say that. My wife and I wasn't always raised in a big city or whatever, but I am definitely a city guy.
Yeah.
So I would probably never go to a cabin. But I appreciate it. Like I'm thinking like, hey, let's go to Philadelphia. I want to try the food and like stuff like that. It's just different. It's
Yeah,
different. But maybe I should take some of your advice. Maybe I should look at going to that because it'd
yeah.
probably be really relaxing
Oh, yeah. And
going to a
especially
cabin.
nowadays, it was kind of like a hybrid. So they had a big hot tub outside. They had a big TV in every room, updated. So you get the cabin life, but for people like you and I, we can still kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not so far out there in the woods where you can't, you know what I mean?
Hey, have you ever been to Eureka Springs?
Years ago when I was a little boy, maybe 8 or 9.
Oh, okay. I was going to tell you, Eureka Springs, that's probably like a small town that I actually have enjoyed going to
They have,
because it's made for tourists.
yeah,
Um, but it's wonderful. They have all these little restaurants and these shops you can walk up and down, and the
yeah,
people are more open-minded than you would picture in a small town in Arkansas. It's like it's a sorry to people in Arkansas, but but I think it's like a really cool place.
yeah.
Did you ever like you're pretty easygoing, but did you ever have somebody on set you didn't get along with?
Never, not
Never?
one.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
even if I did, I wouldn't show it.
Yeah. What about anyone that when you see them, like somebody maybe you've worked with more than once, and when you see them, you think this is going to go well?
Um, there's several. But the first name is Rachel uh Kluwicki, I believe. I pray I'm pronouncing her last name right. Forgive me if I'm not. But we just push one another. And it's like, okay, I got to keep up with Rach. You know what I mean? I got to keep up with
Yeah,
her.
yeah. That's awesome.
She's a great actress.
Yeah. Anyone else you could think of?
Um, oh,
And
there's
Rachel is great, by the way. I know her as well, and I know she uh, takes acting classes. At least she did online in LA, and was talking
yeah,
about the characters, interacting with characters.
yeah.
Um, I think she's a great person. Her and I have shared a couple of scenes together as well.
Yeah. See, I think we've been in same movies, but I don't think we've ever had not one scene together.
Yeah, I don't think we have either. So yeah, we got to fix that someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's who have you been in the most scenes with, or you've seen the most often?
Tiffany Michelle. She's a comedian and an actress, brilliant, extremely funny. We started this thing. We take selfies now. So the first time I met her was in a play, which I don't do anymore. It's just not my passion. I don't love it, so I quit doing it. But I met her in a play. She played my daughter. Like a month later, we were in a movie. I'm like, okay. A month after that, we were in a commercial, the Chiefs commercial. She was a trainer. Probably hard to spot her, but she was a trainer. I promise you, she was in Counteract. I didn't know she was in Counteract. We've been in like 5 or 6 different projects together. So we have a thing that every time we see each other on set, we take a selfie together.
That is wonderful. And Tiffany, she's also does stand-up comedy. My wife and I went and saw her. It was so funny. Like she's like um she needs to make it big because she is absolutely hilarious. She's like talented in so many areas.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, she's another one. She's absolutely wonderful. Um, yeah, actually, I've already sent her a message about being on the show, but she hasn't answered it yet.
Uh,
I started sending messages today to people. So, um, but yeah, well, trying to think if there's anything else. What's your favorite Kansas City barbecue?
as of today, for years it was Gates. But for the last couple of years, it's been Q39 and Slaps on the Kansas side.
Well, I agree with those are all excellent choices. I say, man, your list and mine are probably pretty darn similar. I love Gates barbecue sauce. Their burn-in sandwich is fantastic.
Mhm.
I would add one to your list if you've never been there,
Mhm.
LC's.
Not been to LC's.
Yeah, I usually say slaps and LC's, but and Jack Stack, I like Jack Stack.
Yeah,
Uh, but Q39, Gates,
yeah.
they're all awesome. Um, when you tell people you're from Kansas City,
Mhm.
what do they say to you?
What's it like in Kansas?
Yeah, okay, okay. Well, you actually live in Kansas, so that's okay.
Yes, I do
You can
now.
answer that. Are you from Kansas originally, or are you
No, I'm
from
from
Missouri?
Missouri originally.
Missouri side? Okay.
Yeah.
So what part did you live in the Kansas City area?
South Kansas City, by Truman Corners.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know right where that is. That's where I buy my groceries.
yeah. Yeah. Um, the high school was Ruskin, Grandview High School.
Yeah.
Um, that's where I grew up.
Oh, very cool. And now you're in the Kansas side.
Yes.
Are you like a KU fan now, or are you
Oh, always been a KU fan.
KU fan? Okay.
Yeah, grew up. Funny story. Oh, I'm going to embarrass myself, but it's for you because I love you, brother. So my mom was going to name me Jacques. Um, and I'm glad she didn't. I'm not going to say it was after Jacques Vaughn But she told me this story. I don't know. Some of you may remember Jacques Vaughn, big KU guy back in the day. Um, so when he came through KU, she told me the story of how she was going to name me Jacques. And I'm like, oh my God, Mom, I'm so glad you didn't. I don't know if y'all know about Grandview and Ruskin back in the 80s and 90s, probably even now. That's a tough name to carry around.
Oh
Being
yeah.
oh, it would have been tough.
Doc. Yeah. So you almost had a different name. There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Is there anything that you maybe thought I was going to ask you that I didn't?
No, I did not. I try not to overthink it. I just try to, let it be natural and let it be real.
That's awesome. Hey, what is your thought of the day? Like, what would you tell people? Like, what's your thought of the day?
Of the day,
This is your chance to say a message. What would be your message?
goodness. My thought of the day, I would say position yourself to always have options. Um, don't get me wrong. I'll wake up and go to work every day. I have a wife, kids, and family. I don't mind it to a degree, but then there's some days I think like, man, what if I lived in a California, LA, in Atlanta where I can act all day every day? You know, I don't have that option here. And then I don't want to move. I don't want to move to Hollywood. So I would say my thought of the day, my message would be position yourself to where you have options.
Yeah, very good. I like it. I like it. What's kind of your like? I'm gonna summarize, and then you tell me what I missed on something here. Like basketball, you talked about working hard
Mhm.
to get better at basketball, and
Mhm.
like that it was came natural at football, but you had to work at it at basketball.
Mhm.
You talked about acting, going to classes, getting in that stuff. I mean, a lot of it has been not natural. Like you naturally were good at football,
Mhm.
but the other stuff, almost like you seem more passionate about the stuff you had to work for. And can you explain that?
Yeah. I fell in love with the work ethic, and my kids hate me for this now. I remember my first AAU team, my first year playing organized basketball, maybe fifth grade. I sucked bad. Oh my God. I sucked bad. And at the end of the year, it was one of those, it was called South Suburban basketball. And it was one of those your parents pay, so you have to play at least a little bit.
Mhm.
So I remember like it was yesterday. The coach Ronnie Morris, it was like maybe six guys off that team that he came around after the last game and he gave out papers to. And I had my hand out to get the paper, and he didn't give me one. Well, that paper was a consent form for for the guys that he wanted to play travel basketball, AAU, and I didn't get one. He was like, they used to call me Slam because we had two Maurices on the team. They used to call me Slam. He said, sorry, Slam, not this year. And I cried all the way home. I didn't say a word to my mom all the way home. And that night, when we got home, it's 8 or 9 at night. I started training that night. And I've been a trainer ever since then. That next year, I got my paper. The
That's awesome.
following year, I started for every sports team in my life after that. It was due to training. So to answer your question, I fell in love with the training because I saw what it could do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I read a book years ago called Talent is Overrated, and they analyzed how many hours people spent and like things like the traveling league.
Mhm.
Like if you have someone who lives somewhere where they can't golf all year round,
Mhm.
It's going to be harder for them to get good at it than someone who does it all year.
Right.
And you get someone who maybe like wants to become a pitcher and then they get in leagues and in the winter they're practicing pitching all the time and they spend it like every day, they just practice, 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 they get better. But they were talking about they were comparing musical instruments and the number of hours of practice from the first chair to the fifth chair. And everybody was like in line with how much they practiced. And then like the classical musicians and all, I mean, they did all this and they figured out that it takes 10 years to become an expert.
Mhm.
And it was all related to how much time you put in. And it sounds like, you could have like given up and said, I don't want to play basketball.
Yeah.
But you did the opposite. You earned it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
earned it.
it carried over. Oh, my kids hate me. Dad, I want to play volleyball. I want to play this. I want to play that. Okay. So I'll call them randomly. Hey, what are you doing? Nothing, watching YouTube. No, you can't.
Right.
No, there's a girl or a boy somewhere on a farm who hates his life, who plays all day just to get off the farm. You
Right.
can't be
Right.
doing nothing. So they
Yeah,
hate
yeah,
me for
that's
that.
funny. Yeah, they used to always tell us that any sport I was ever in, like, hey, just think someone else is practicing today, like
Right
that. And
now.
it's true though. It really is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Anything else to add?
No, not that I can think of.
Well, it was a pleasure speaking with Maurice. I knew it would be.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You have a good one.
You too.